Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another DIY room makeover on a budget. We are finally finishing up in my living room. A few months back, I did upload a part 1, 2, and 3, I guess you could say, in my living room entryway and fireplace, but there were some things that remained unfinished because sometimes you just can't get it all done at once. This is real life over here and I like to share those steps with you, so today we are finally finishing up painting, creating some DIY decor, and switching out all of the window coverings in my living room, including my skylights, the window next to my front door, and installing some indoor faux wood shutters in the center of the room, thanks to Blinds.com, my partner for today's video. Blinds.com offers the largest selection of window coverings with the best quality at the best price. I was blown away at all of the product, material, and color options available on their website, as well as the promotional savings offers that they present front and center so that you don't have to do any extra work trying to find yourself a discount. I was able to choose the perfect cellular shades for my skylights, shutters for the large window in the center of the room, and faux wood blinds for the window next to my front door. Although these were all different styles of window treatments, I was able to keep everything cohesive by choosing matching and complementary colors and designs. You can easily access measurement and install instructions on the Blinds.com website, as well as order samples to be sure that you are selecting the best materials and color options for your space before placing your final order. I was glad that I ordered samples so that I could be sure that everything would turn out exactly as I had envisioned, and the measurement and installation instructions came in very handy for my DIY install of the faux wood shutters. But you all know that I am terrified of heights, so I was thankful to see an optional upgrade for a Blinds.com professional measure and installation service. I ultimately chose to have the skylights and blinds professionally installed, and my experience was definitely 5 stars. They were flexible and prompt with scheduling, courteous and respectful of our space, and quick, efficient, and precise when completing the job. If you do choose to self-measure and install, don't panic if you make a mistake. Blinds.com will remake your mismeasured products at no additional cost and work with you to make it right until you are satisfied with the style, color, and quality of your window treatments. If you want to check out any of the window treatments in my home or order your own through Blinds.com, I will have links for you in my description box. Thank you so much to Blinds.com for sponsoring today's video. Alright, I've got my paint out here. It is the Valspar 2000 in a satin finish, and the color is Sherwin-Williams Agreeable Gray. This is the same color paint that I have on all of our walls, pretty much throughout our whole house, and I have it out because I'm going to be taking these blinds down today, replacing them with some gorgeous plantation shutters from Blinds.com. And before I can do any of that, I need to fix my laziness from the last time that I did a DIY and I didn't paint the inside trim of the window. So I can't replace it with shutters until I do that. But I'm going to take down these old blinds that just don't match. The color is off. You can kind of see it from the stark white of the trim and the doors. This is more of a cream yellow based warm white-ish color. I don't even know what it is, but it just sticks out like a sore thumb now that everything else is painted, and they're broken. Let me show you guys. There are a number of places on these blinds where they have broken and I just taped them back together, so I'm just going to finally replace them today. I couldn't be more excited to do that. I think that the design element of the plantation shutters is really going to pull this space together. It's still going to be functional, allowing a lot of natural light, and it's just going to be the vibe that I'm going for. Not to mention, it's going to match our other new window treatments. We have finally covered this window next to the front door with these beautiful white blinds from Blinds.com. And we replaced those old, terrible, dysfunctional skylights with some beautiful new window treatments from Blinds.com. So this is just going to pull everything together. It's all going to be a lot more cohesive and go along with the look and feel of this room.
I
was actually really surprised at how easy it was to take down the old blinds. I just popped off that strip that had been protecting this portion of them and then opened those little flaps, and the blind slid right out. I did have to take down all of the hardware, and that left a few holes, so I went ahead and patched all of those up, waited for the spackle to dry, and then sanded it down. And once that was all prepped, I'm just going to wipe everything down with my Method anti-bac spray and a microfiber cloth, because I did need to paint in this area, and of course you need to make sure that you are painting on a smooth, clean surface. The color that I am using is Agreeable Gray by Sherwin-Williams. It is the same color that I have throughout most of the rest of my house.
Your hair was just so golden, 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 and your eyes were also golden, 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 golden. All my dreams are now golden, 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 golden. I wonder, where did you go? I have to know. Golden. A mirror image of my soul. I could see myself, but without the holes. I pinched my arm just to see if you could feel what I feel. Feel what I feel. We found each other right from the start. A conversation between our hearts. I wanted more, but it was hard to get through your shield. Your hair was just so golden, 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 and your eyes were also golden, 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 golden. All my dreams are now.
The paint in the windowsill is dry, and it is time to try to install the shutters. Derek was nice enough to unbox them for me. They were wrapped pretty securely, so it took him a while to get it unboxed, but he has it all out now. Here are the actual shutters, and then these are all of the frame pieces, and it's going to mount right inside of the windowsill. There's inside mounts and outside mounts. We have inside ones, and each of these pieces, let me see if I can show you, is labeled, which makes it super easy. So this is the left, this is the top, this is the bottom, this is the right side. So they made it as easy as possible. The mounting hardware is right here with it. So it's really difficult to see at this angle, but there is a piece of trim work at the bottom of the window that creates a little lip on the windowsill, and the frame for the shutters just clicked together and then set perfectly on top of that lip and actually looked really nice all together. These were customized to be able to do that, and I was really happy for that option because I would have been in over my head if I had to figure out how to remove that trim piece and patch up the windowsill to still look nice. As far as installing the shutters themselves, they just kind of clicked into place, and there were these little pins that kept them all together. It was not difficult at all. So at the end of the day, it was just clicking the frame together, screwing it into the windowsill, and then popping on the shutters, and it turned out better than I had expected. Again, if you want to check these out for yourself, there will be a link in the description box. We got it installed with no tears, minimal arguments, and we didn't break anything. So it looks really good. I love it. And it was relatively simple. Everything was pretty much put together. Like the instructions said there were magnets we were gonna have to install, but that was already put together on the shutters when Derek unboxed it. So really there were just some screws at all of the sides that needed to be put in, and it's instructed to pre-drill if you needed to. We didn't pre-drill, Derek just kind of powered through it. But there were screws and then these little pins to actually install the shutter part onto the frame, and that's all that we had to do. Everything else was kind of pre-assembled, so it was a lot easier, way less intimidating than I was making it out in my mind, and it looks really good. It is time to finally finish the paint job over here and paint the walls, trim, and doors. in this little hallway area near the girls' bedrooms and the bathroom. This has been a long time coming. It doesn't look too bad here on camera, and you might not notice it very often, but when I pan out like this, you can really see the difference. Here's the color of the living room, and there's the color of the hallway. So it has not matched for months now. I've just been putting it off, not feeling up to completing the project, but it's time to finally get this done. So I do have some screws up here from something that used to hang there. I'm gonna have to take those out and patch them before I can start painting. There's also in some of the door jambs some areas that need to be spackled very quickly. To patch up all of those holes, I'm using my Drydex Quick Dry Spackle. I love this stuff. It's easy to use, very beginner friendly, and perfect for small projects like this. I also like it because it goes on pink and it takes about 30 minutes to an hour to dry, and when it is dry it turns white so that you know that it is ready to be sanded and there is no guesswork involved.
I just wanna let you know, behind the mirrors and all that smoke, promises and alibis, I don't believe. Told me you would change my world, now I know what you are worth. Gone and lost your hold on me, I don't believe. Have me acting like a fool, to no use. Got me wondering why you still you're giving me nothing, a whole lot of nothing, baby. Would've settled for something, but I'm giving in with the waiting. For your darling a zero, no hint of a hero. Now you're selling me.
I have had this sanding block for over a year and it is still going strong, but this is what I use to sand down all of that spackle once it's dry. I just use the fine grit side and give it a light sanding to make sure that everything is completely smooth before I try to paint it.
What you're risking when you roll the dice. Now I'm gonna place the bet on me. I do believe you will learn what it's like to fail. Gave a little and far too late.
I always use this eCloth Flexi Edge floor and wall duster to dust off the walls and get rid of any dirt, debris, and drywall dust before I wipe them down.
Wake up at your place, wake up at mine. Same question always. I'm getting tired. We could have breakfast, counting your freckles, close to the west coast. How about that? Why don't we just get a place together? Mornings in our own bed, so much better. Balconies and bathtubs, what you want? Why don't we just get a place together?
To clean the walls and baseboards as quickly and efficiently as possible, I use my eCloth Deep Clean Mop and just mop them all.
We can get white walls with big windows up on the third floor in my chateau. Why don't we just get a place together? Mornings in our own bed, so much better. Balconies and bathtubs, what you want? Why don't we just get a place together?
I just wanted to show you guys a quick before and after of the baseboards after using those tools. They really do make it so much faster to get all of the prep work done before you go in for any painting.
Derek!
I needed my husband's help to get the paint open, but once he got that lid off for me, I just stirred it really well with my stir stick and poured it into my paint pan. I do have a disposable liner in there just to make cleanup as easy as possible, and I'm going to use a 2-inch brush to cut in around all of the trim and doors and baseboards, and then I'll use a roller to roll it onto the walls.
To get by, we're one step closer to find ourselves a perfect place, a feeling you just can't deny. So come on over, 'cause I could never live without you. Everywhere we go, nobody knows. We're waiting for the time to let go and do what's right for us. Started out here, way beyond the tracks. The story of us and how we never look back. 'Cause this is our time, this is our life. And sometimes all you need is a smile. You made up your mind just to see it through. There's nobody else here waiting. Just tell me how to get through to you. 'Cause I just wanna get closer. Started out here, way beyond the tracks. The story of us and how we never look back. 'Cause this is our time, this is our life. And sometimes all you need.
I am finally finished painting these walls. There's only one coat on here and it's not dry yet, but I'm just glad to be done. It is really difficult for me painting in a small enclosed space like this. It's totally different, not nearly as satisfying as painting on one large wall or bedrooms, the living room, things like that. So I'm happy to finally have this out of the way, but now I do need to take off all of the doorknobs on these doors because I forgot to do that when I first started painting. And then I'm going to paint the walls and the trim and the baseboards with just a plain white color, the same color that's in the rest of the living room. So I'm gonna get started on that while the walls dry. I know I'm going to get questions about this paint. It is just a Valspar 2000 white paint in a satin finish. There is no custom color or anything. You can get this right off the shelf at Lowe's. It was getting really late and dark while I was filming with the doors and the trim work, so I didn't record it all, but I do have 2 coats over all of the doors. And I started on the trim and then just realized it was even too dark for me and I couldn't really see what I was doing, so I stopped. So if you can tell, I still have to paint this part of all of the trim, and in the doors too, you can really see it. I missed the corners and some spots like right here. So I think I just need to paint that with a brush instead of trying to use the roller. And then, of course, I still need to do the baseboards because I didn't do any of those yet. So I think you can probably tell the difference between this like warm toned cream color and the stark white over here. Just a little pro tip: if you are going to be painting multiple days in a row like I am, you can wrap your brushes and rollers in plastic wrap and tin foil and store them in either the refrigerator or the freezer. I always just go in the refrigerator and I label mine when I have multiple brushes or multiple rollers, and this way you don't have to clean them out at the end of every day. You can just go ahead and wrap them up like this and they will stay perfectly fine. None of the paint will harden and it won't affect your paint job whatsoever.
Tell me that you're different. This is when you try to make me fall. Convince me it's true. And that is why you want me like you do. But you didn't even have to try, 'cause you can start a fire without a spark. Forget what I told you, forget all about that tonight. Just remember the flame, you remember the flame, alright. Forget what I told you, forget all about that tonight. Just remember the flame, you remember the flame, alright. Maybe you will tell me what you're thinking, or maybe you will give me all the blame. But I'm moving on. I just have to make sure that you know.
This was so tedious. It took a really long time to get all of this done, but I was so thankful when I was finally able to walk away from it and let it dry and work on some DIY decor. I picked up these unfinished natural wood signs and round discs from Hobby Lobby. These are a pack of 3 and they were $4.49, and when I bought them they were 40% off. All of the wood, natural wood, unfinished things were 40% off, so just a couple bucks for each of these. They are 3 packs and I have 3 of them. And then this one is actually part of the spring shop this year. I'm not really sure why, but that meant it was 40% off as well. So it was originally $15, I want to say, and I got it 40% off. But I'm going to do a stained wood border around this and then paint the inside white, and then some of these I'm going to paint white and some of them I am going to stain, and I'm going to do some DIY decor for that large wall in the living room and also for that little area in the hallway. I think that's what I'm going to use this one for. I just couldn't find anything at the stores that I absolutely loved that was affordable, so I decided to try my hand at making my own pieces. Before I work on those decor pieces, I'm going in with this Krylon Color Max white paint primer. This is a spray paint that I already had in my shed, and I am going to prime this little side table here that I wanted to paint white. I actually got 2 of these on Facebook Marketplace for like $10 or something. It was super cheap, and I used one of them in my DIY family room makeover, but I'm using this one as a little side table next to our front door, and I'm just going to get it painted white. While that primer dries, I am going to use this Minwax gel stain in the color Coffee. I've used this on a number of projects around my home, and I absolutely love it.
My voice is just a call away. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. I'll keep you safe all night and day. I'll be where you wanna be. Yes, I'll be where you wanna be. I'll be your rock, I'll be your man. Just like from where it all began. You're more than everything. You're more than everything to me. Make me a promise, tell me you love me, and that you'll never shut me out. To me you're a goddess, baby, let me show you what I'm about. Call me your lover, call me whatever, long as I'm alive.
I had this Kiehl's brand white chalk paint left over in my shed from a previous DIY project. So I am going to use that on the remainder of those circles and then also the inside of that wooden sign. It did take me a couple of coats to get it completely opaque on these. The wood kind of just soaked it right in. So I think I did 2 coats on each of the circles, and I ended up doing 4 coats on that big wooden sign, and I just used a foam craft brush to paint it on.
Again, and who'll be with you when it ends. I'll be your rock, I'll be your man. Just like from where it all began. You're more than everything. You're more than everything to me. Make me a promise, tell me you love me, and that you'll never shut me out. To me you're a goddess, baby, let me show you what I'm about. Call me your lover, call me whatever, long as I'm alive. I'll try to be just completely amazing. You're the reason why.
By this time, the primer on the table had dried, so I'm going to go in with this glossy white spray paint that I had in my shed. It is either the Lowe's or Home Depot brand. I can't remember which one it is, but both of them have a store brand, and both of them are like 98 or 99 cents per can, which just goes to show that you can get any of these projects done no matter what budget you are working on. But while that paint was drying, I went inside and got my Cricut Maker working to create some vinyl decals to make all of that DIY decor. So I was DIYing everything that we would be decorating with, but I wanted to get the rest of the family involved as well. So Derek actually picked out all of the quotes and actually song lyrics that we ended up using. For this large wooden sign, he chose a Piglet quote from Winnie the Pooh that says, "If you weren't you, we'd all be a bit less we." And that just feels perfect for our family. He did a great job with that. And then on those stained circles, he chose some Elton John song lyrics that say, "How wonderful life is while you're in the world." And I also thought that was super special and meaningful for our family. Kinsley's request was that I add in more family photos. She felt like the last time I did a DIY makeover, it almost felt like a staged home and not personal enough. So I'm using sticky tack to attach some photos to those painted white circles, and then Derek and I are going to arrange them all up on the wall to add a personal touch with some custom wall art that we all work together to design.
Triple A, credits are right. Hang up the phone and let your heart break on the interlay. 24 twice. She's on the phone, but she's staying on Wilshire Boulevard. Old dreams dying hard. He wants you to return this love. Breathing in the dark, weightless, working hard. He wants you to return his love. Now he's beating diamonds on you, but that ain't enough to turn the page. He's kneeling, wants to feel known, but he's not the one who pulls away. That ain't enough to turn the page. Leash is off, suit is on point.
To hang the wooden sign in the hallway, I'm going to be using these 16-pound command strips, and I did put one in each corner, so I used all 4 of them and pressed it on to make sure it was super secure. And then the last thing I wanted to do was switch out all of our doorknobs and hardware. We do like the more modern farmhouse look, so I really like these matte black finish as opposed to the silver nickel finish.
Working hard, he wants you to return his love. Now he's beating diamonds on you, but that ain't enough to turn the page. He's kneeling, wants to feel known, but he's not the one who pulls away. That ain't enough to turn the page. No, 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 no. That ain't enough to turn the page. He's not the one thing. Oh, you got enough on your plate. Got enough on your plate. He's not the one, babe. No, you should've known it's too late. Should've known it's too late. Yeah, yeah, should've known.
Before I show you the final reveal, I just wanted to share some before shots to remind you how incomplete and unfinished this space was before we started on this project. And now here is what it looks like after, and all of those small changes went a long way in completely transforming this space. I am so in love with all of our custom window treatments from Blinds.com, and once again, thank you so much to Blinds.com for sponsoring today's video. If you are in the market for some custom window treatments on a budget, then definitely make sure that you check out those links down in my description box. I hope that I was able to share a ton of DIY ideas that you can use in your own home no matter what budget you are working with, and I hope that I was able to instill some confidence in you that you can totally get a project like this done no matter your skill level or resources available. So thank you all so much for watching today. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.